Hello everybody, Tomebinder here, and in this video I'm going to be playing ICO Base Part 2. The 2 isn't in the title obviously, but I've been talking to EnderKid, the maker of this map, about this map quite a lot the past couple of days. He's very excited for it. I've been giving him some feedback. We'll see how much of it he's taken into account in this map. This map, if you don't know, takes place in the world of the Steam Wars, which is a community project in Ancient Warfare 3. And the ICO is a major faction in the Steam Wars. They have, obviously, many bases. They're sort of a very ultra-UN on steroids, if you can imagine that. A UN that is hyper-competent, hyper-militarized, and determined to bring about kind of world integration, stuff like that. And obviously they are sort of like the world police in that universe. So they capture many people and they put many people in prison. And as you can see from the description, I, the main character, have been captured and taken to the ICO base. I've been harmed, I think it's supposed to say, but I don't give up. A lockdown is happening and everything falls apart, so it's time to escape. Part 3 is coming in a bit. By that he means 3 months. Well, we'll see. I hope it's not that long, EnderKid. Let's hit play on ICO Base Part 2. This thumbnail is better than his last one, but they could still be better. And at the end of this video, EnderKid, I'll show you what I mean by that, what I would do to make a thumbnail for this map. So here we are in the map. I'm going to hit play now. I'm recording this right after my last one where I played through Num's stuff because unfortunately I won't be able to make any videos on Saturday, which is tomorrow at the time of recording. So this video will be going up on Saturday, I do believe, but it was recorded on Friday because I will be traveling, as a matter of fact, at the time you're seeing this. And so I hope I'm having a good time, and I hope you're having a good time too. I'm quite enjoying this return to YouTube. Alright, let's hit play on ICO Base Part 2. Whoa, that's loud music. Let's turn it down. Okay, hang on, it's still too loud. Is this the same music from Mecho's map? So is this supposed to be a sequel? A sequel to Mecho's map, unofficially? But this has got to be the same. That was in Mecho's map. Let's turn it down even more. Alright, I think that's good for the custom music. So we are in the ICO base, everybody. Code red, I repeat, code red. Got a dead guy whose head have I taken his head off? Anyway, this is I believe a homage to Mecho's recent map. But let's go. Alright, so we are in the base. I'm just trying to get a sense of everything and what I should even be saying. I think right now, EnderKid, my biggest problem that I experience when I load up a map like this is it's a little bit the colors are a little bit bland. They're a little bit too kind of washed out, and the reason for that is the light is a little too bright and there's not enough texture. Now I've told you in direct messages about the importance of texturing, but let me just say it again here so I can illustrate what I mean exactly. If you just recolored some of this concrete a slightly darker shade of gray, it doesn't have to be that dark, slightly dark, it gives the illusion that it's been walked on, it's been messed up, it's been made a little dirty. You should do that on everything you can. Ceiling, the floor, but I don't think you're able to do it on the walls, sadly. One more thing, the music needs to be turned down, way down. So you've given me a shotgun as well, let's see. I have to just kind of do that. Holy cow, I just realized my guy has 6,700 HP, that's insane. Also the map's a little bit laggy, EnderKid, you might want to do some stuff. What am I supposed to do now exactly? Oh, go through there. It's a satisfying gun. Okay, is this guy on my side? I don't know, I'm just gonna leave him alone. And a wall of guys. This is similar to the thing I mentioned in my video about maps, which is that you don't want to immediately punish the player when they enter a new area. just a second to take in the door. When I opened that door, I was immediately met with a wall of gunfire, which isn't so fun. Especially if you die right then. It can feel like a very cheap death. Obviously, I wasn't in too much risk of dying there because of my massive health. Now, I'm going to be curious. I'm going to keep an eye out to see if there's any particular reason why he gave me this much health. Maybe there's a very strong boss fight later down the line. This is a large map. Enderkid has been repeatedly telling me about how big it is, and I could definitely get a sense of its size here. But I don't even know if you're like using all this size to its fullest, Enderkid. Like, there's not too much detail on the walls and the floors. So maybe what you should do is in your next map, make the actual areas smaller so you can put the same amount of detail, and that way it'll feel more detailed overall. I certainly wouldn't make any maps bigger than this, because this alone is fairly laggy. Well, that's a windmill object. I was like, what is that? This guy has to be an enemy. That's probably why I have so much health, but I'm going to cheese him, because I don't really want to get blasted by that gun. Yeah. So you can cheese that guy in the kit. If you don't want the player to be able to do that, you should definitely put him a little further away and have him face a little bit more like have him face this way. That way he has to turn to face the player. Don't have him face the player right away, because then he'll just laser them when they walk in, which is the whole thing I was warning you against doing. These doors you have to stand far away to open, which is kind of weird. It's the guys with shields. So this is very clearly he's taken inspiration and he's inspired them to make a similar story about escaping an ICO base. Let's hope that doesn't offend Meko, because I certainly would be honored if this kind of thing happened. I mean, this kind of thing has happened with the company, for example. I think it's pretty great. There's more stuff taking place in the world of the Steam Wars, which up till now has been pretty close to death. There hasn't really been that many major map competitions declared. And in the Steam Wars, a map competition is like a war that breaks out, and the person who makes the better map wins. Yeah, the ceiling could definitely use with some texturing, or just do more stuff like this, like put more stuff to block the view of the ceiling if you're not going to load it up with detail. Is this guy on my side? I think he might be. Can I get some help here? Sure, man. You're stuck in a cage. Can I just push you out? I don't push you in. Actually, I don't know if I can get you some help. I'm really sorry. I think that guy's just stuck there forever. Oh well. Let's open the next door. I can definitely see why the player's been given so much help now, because you're up against so many guys with shields and automatic weapons. This amount of health still kind of trivializes combat, though. Like I'm really not in danger of dying unless I like stand still in front of them, which I'm not going to do. Yeah, and I would definitely switch out these doors, Enderkid, because they're weird doors. It's not your fault, obviously. But those doors you have to stand kind of far away from to open, and that's no fun. These ICO guys were made by Eagle, I'm pretty sure. They are cool units. What? Oh. Oh, I'm just completely out of ammo. So, are these guys on my side? I think they are. Take out the ICO guys, please. How do I get friends in here? Maybe they've come to bust me out. Any lore here? No. Wanted, only dead, only alive, dead or alive. That's funny. I wonder who made those. That's pretty funny. Yeah, definitely texture. Enderkid, you gotta texture or add detail or something. Honestly, don't add more objects to this map. It's gonna make it even laggier. So texture instead. Oh yeah. I think it's the number of units that's causing this lag, but I could be wrong, because this is just an absolute war zone. Start running! What the? It's gotta be the units. Alright, Kid, my recommendation now is to learn how to spawn units in the scripting. That way you don't have to have them all pre-placed, because having so many guys just standing here waiting for me is really slowing the map down in terms of my performance and my frames. I would strongly recommend you spawn them in when the player enters a trigger instead. And I can also, I'd be happy to show you how to do that as well. Because you can have a war zone like this very easily with spawning. You do not need to have all the units pre-placed. I get a Halo assault rifle here. I'll take that. That guy was, he was in the corner because he was reloading a gun so he could turn around and shoot me. Trust me, that was okay to do. ICO flag always goes hard. But yeah, see, this area just feels so empty, and it's because there's only detail on one of the 4 surfaces. If you had it on all 4, this map would be god tier like Nums. Like I said about Nums. Less than 1,000. So I think he just gave the player this much health because he didn't want to have to balance the map's encounters. But like that, you can't win that unless you tank thousands of hit points. So I think I have to now run all the way back to that big giant room and get on the medical crate. So definitely, honestly, I would recommend just restructuring the combat encounters in this map. Also, the light's way too bright here. I would restructure the combat encounters so that the units are spawned in over time. Like when the player enters a trigger upon, so let's say this. So let me just say this. Assume that I have just cleared this big room, right? And I walk into this room. When I walk into this room, the units in the next room spawn. And when I walk into this big room, the units in that room spawn. Does that make sense? Because that way you don't have to have the units in every single room placed at the start. Because units are one of the most taxing things for the game to process. So if you want to have this many encounters, this many combat encounters with this many guys, I cannot stress enough the importance of spawning. So you gradually introduce them, because having them all at the very start is just a recipe for lag, for glitches, and for people to even crash. I'm going to get up to 3,000 health and then move forward. I would also recommend, the reason I said restructure the entire combat side of this map is because it does feel like there's some parts that you just have to take damage if you want to keep going. And I understand that you've given me a lot of health, so that way I can kind of afford to just take damage. But it would be good if you gave the player the option to avoid damage, like in this area up here that I was just at. If you give me something to hide behind, take cover, it would reward the player for moving a little more, playing a little more tactically rather than just running, gunning, tanking hits, etc. Like there's no cover in this room. The player is basically forced to close the door or charge straight at them. So this is a pretty detailed room though. Just nothing to hide behind in it. Okay, how much you want to bet there's guys right behind this door? There's not. ICO Commander, heh, finally caught you. This is a cutscene you told me about. I know you're good at tearing my men into pieces, but it's easy to catch you. Oh yeah? Oh yeah, I'm just gonna walk. Anyway, any last words? Oh jeez, he has a lot of guys. Yeah, so, get him, he says. I do have to kind of run away again, because I didn't know the ICO guy boss fight was gonna be right here, the ICO Commander. I gotta run all the way back and heal some more. If you want to have give the player healing stuff, which you definitely should, just place like 5 medical crates inside each other so they heal much faster. Otherwise it's going to take so long for me to get up to full health. Oh, maybe I'll just leave. Yeah, so the ICO Commander's going to chase me all the way over here and end up running into that wall of red guys who for some reason are on my team. So I can definitely see what he's trying to do. It's a very ambitious and like story-focused map, which this game is very good for. But it definitely needs to restructure part of the gameplay side of things, like to make it a little more balanced and a little more easy on performance. But like rooms for this, like this one, for example, really are pretty nice to look at. Probably would be a little better with some texturing here, but you can definitely see what he's going for. And this is more detailed than pretty much like most, if not all, areas in Good of the Company 2021. So at the very least, he has that on me. All right, let's keep going. And like I said in Num's video, I give this feedback not because I want people to feel like they're bad at map making, because they aren't. Underkid is not a bad map maker, but I definitely want them to know in an honest and polite way, which isn't always the way people give feedback. I want them to know what I think they could improve on in the future. That way they won't feel like they're stuck at the same, level of map production as they were when they first joined. People should feel like they are improving, and I want to just give them tips for how to improve. Now, if you don't like that, I don't have to play your stuff on my channel. That's okay. But if I'm gonna highlight it, I'm also gonna give some feedback on how it can be as best as it can be. Look at all that. Like, there's no cover here. I have to camp around the corner. Okay, just keep going. Just keep taking damage. I'm gonna have to run all the way back again. Okay, and now I need more ammo. This gives me... not quite enough, sadly. Every single shot. Alright, yeah, and it's just not enough. Okay. I don't know where on earth I'm gonna get more ammo from. Unless I rush that gun on but I'm not gonna make it. I'm gonna die before I get to that gun. Okay, another thing, if you're gonna give me this many enemies, you gotta give me enough ammo to compensate. Ammo kits, ammo crates, ammo piles. Anything like that is an absolute must. I'm hoping that there's something in that big storage room. I think I saw an ammo pile there. I didn't stock up so much that first time I was there, because I assumed there would be more resources later down the line. Seems like maybe not, though. What's this? That's what I need. Okay. By the way, when I came through that door and saw all the red guys looking at me, I was scared. I thought they'd changed teams, but no, I'm sure they were just looking that way when they killed the ICO commander. I keep running by this guy, and I'm gonna give him mercy. I didn't give mercy to the other guy. Lots of interesting, just random clutter here. I guess if this is food, I'll eat it. I got a new keyboard, if you couldn't tell, folks, so it's a lot more obvious when I'm clicking certain keys. Okay, I'm up to about 1,000 now. I'm just gonna hope there's another medical crate, because I don't want to go back all the way back to that storage room again. Thank goodness Enderkid provided a gun back there. Oh, the recoil on this thing, man. That's insane. I'm sure it's not Enderkid's decision. You have to literally treat it like a semi-auto gun. As soon as I take out this big armor guy, I should be good to just rush in. Yeah. Alright, give me that. Okay, we're good. I would also give the player a backpack so they can hold more guns. If you're gonna give the player this many enemies, they need to have guns, they need to have everything. They need to have all the resources. This is Mammoth's new medical station. Thanks for putting it here, Underkid. Better late than never, I suppose. This area is pretty nice as well, but still used with some texturing. Or just like make stripes on the walls, anything like that. Vertical stripes though, there's enough horizontal. Hey fella. He's not gonna shoot me. It's a cool unit though. Okay, I guess I'll heal a little more. Am I supposed to kill every enemy in the middle? Is that the idea? Or Oh, this guy's got... What? Did he, like, club himself in the face? Okay, so my guess is there's a key to that door somewhere. This guy got his head stuck in the crate? Smartest ICO operative, I guess. I can eat these cubes, I'll eat them. Although it gives me no healing, so no point. Most delicious ICO food. I say this even though I'm actually probably one of the people that doesn't just stereotypically despise the ICO. I think they're a pretty interesting faction. Okay, a key. I need a key. It must be in this room. There's no way it would be further back, right? If you're gonna have a key puzzle, you need some sort of light by the key to show where it is. Otherwise, it ain't too fun. I'll just say that. Yeah, man, I don't know. Am I crazy? Where's the key? I want to enjoy playing maps. Is it too much to ask for, like... You know, there's lots of tutorials out there that have, like, technical information on how to build or script certain things in the game. But maybe there needs to be like a principles of game design tutorial for new Ancient Warfare 3 map makers, or even people like Underkid who've been making them for a while but need a refresher. This is a pretty good map, but there are some things with it that definitely break up the flow. Like, there's lots of good action, but then sometimes you have to run all the way back to heal, or like look around endlessly for a key. I don't know. I'm not feeling it anymore. I think I'm gonna stop here. Report my findings back to Endokid, because clearly there is a lot more here. A lot more. But I mean, I guess it's mostly more of the same, and there's so many units here that it's obviously causing lag. So I got most of the way through the map. So Underkid, I don't need to re-say the points I've already made. I strongly recommend you take that advice, because again, this map is very close to standing on its own as a strong companion to Meko's map. It's not quite there. The point of my videos are to give this feedback, give some attention to the map, and I will check back in on this ICO-based Part 2 map after it's received some updates, and my hope is that it will be one of those god-tier maps that we all play Ancient Warfare 3 for. So, I think that's where I'm going to cut this off. Thank you everybody for watching. Thank you for making this map, Underkid. It is definitely one of your best, but it needs a little more. So, I hope you take that advice. If you'd like to support my videos, everybody, so I can continue to give feedback, please do leave a like, subscribe, comment. Please comment any recommendations for other maps you want me to play, and I'll play them, give feedback, and shine a little light on them for the YouTube sphere. So, thank you one more time for watching, folks, and I'll see you in the next video.